Hello, welcome to another RiderCamTV video. I hope my bum doesn't look big in these. Because what we're going to talk about is the bum of a bike.
I bet before we start,
Yeah.
all right, we're parked by the no parking sign again as usual.
Yeah.
But you know, someone goes, don't put your helmets on your bikes like that. They're not going to fall off, but because we've got those slippy mats on them.
Oh, we have. Yeah, and they are fantastic slippy mats. Anyway, today we're talking, very quick video, about indicators on BMWs. So,
No way.
yeah, you know my bike, Mark.
I do. I hate riding behind it because I think it's dangerous.
Yes, and I think it's dangerous, and I'm really quite worried sometimes whether people have seen from behind me, whether they've seen me indicating. So on my bike, I have got, as you'll see now, brake light isn't working. You know, the middle light underneath the seat doesn't work normally. It comes on as a brake light. The brake lights or position lights, the red ones, are the indicators. So when you brake, the indicators
Let me just clarify
come on.
that. Okay?
Go on.
So your red brake light, which used to be on permanently, not the brake,
Yeah.
but
It's now not on.
The red light is not on, and your indicator lights
Are on all the time,
but they're red.
but they're red.
And inside there,
Yeah.
are the indicators.
Inside there's a little triangle that indicates. But when you're braking, the light underneath the seat that wasn't on comes on. The two indicators get brighter, you know, as the red braking lights. But if you're indicating, it drowns out the indicator.
For example, if you're coming off a junction or something
Yeah.
like that.
So, step back in time to Mark's old bike.
Oi!
Just here.
Oi!
Now, this is a 68 plate bike. Now these indicators are fantastic. These are so bright from behind, you know that the indicator's on, because on Mark's bike, this is the position lamp, the red one, running light. When you brake, that brake light comes on. If you're indicating, nothing happens to the indicators, nothing happens at all. They're completely separate. You're just either indicating or not indicating with them. Now, we visited the bike show, didn't we, in Birmingham?
What were BMW thinking when they designed that? It just doesn't make any kind of sense.
But then, having said that, it's like the VW cars with the round lights on the back that have got the indicator,
Yeah.
and you brake, you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's just dangerous. And in this day and age, so many people on bikes are dying and having accidents. Surely that was a real big mistake. However, there is a fix. Yes.
There's always a fix.
No, we love BMW because there's always a fix for everything.
Yep.
At a cost.
Obviously. There is your money.
Yeah, now we're not knocking them. However,
Here we are.
I've looked around so many forums to see whether there's something that I can do. Can I buy the same indicators as Mark, take mine off, put them on, because they are fit for fit, you know,
Well,
like
you
for
must
like.
be able to.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? However, when you buy a BMW motorbike, you spec it out, don't you? Oh, I'd like those indicators, they look really nice. That's on the spec sheet. When they then go and build the BMW, they program the BMW to your spec. So in that program it says, this one doesn't come on unless you brake. These ones are on all the time and the indicator's in it. That's an option that you have programmed into the bike. So in order to get them changed to these, you would think that I could just buy these, plug them in, job done.
You'd think so.
No.
Oh.
You can get them and plug them in, but then what you need to do is get hold of your local BMW dealer, who then gets hold of BMW, you know, UK, and there is a specific chap, and I forget his name, but it's a specific chap, I'll put it on the screen, that can and does change the software option that you've had programmed on your bike. So you get the indicators, you plug them in, presumably from BMW, get it all done there. They then get hold of this guy, who then sends them the file to put on your computer and put on your bike by plugging it into the computer to change the option that you have to get these indicators back. I don't dislike BMW, I really love BMW. I don't want to knock them, don't want to cause issues with them. However, these lights are really good. The lights that you see now on my bike, I think are really dangerous. And it was highlighted today. We've been out on a group ride with a load of associates and people in Rosper, and 2 or 3 people came up to me and said, you never indicate? Well, I'm like indicating everywhere. They can't see it because of the brake light.
And if you go on forums, there are so many people complaining about those lights. BMW need to start thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, more visibility is absolutely fantastic, but if you can't show that when you're braking and you're indicating, the Muppet behind you is not necessarily looking at you anyway. You know, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. However, if you want to change it for an easy can, you're talking like 300, 400, 500 quid by the time you've bought the easy can, you've fitted it, then you've got all the lights. Where do you put the lights? It's really difficult.
And do they invalidate your warranty?
Well, if BMW do it, then it's not going to invalidate it, is it? Because they're the ones sending the program to the bike to remove the options so that this will all work. It's just bizarre, isn't it?
It is.
Bizarre. Wanted to highlight it, so put down in the comments if you're having an issue with it as well. When we've written our letter, perhaps we'll talk about the fact that we've sent the letter off, or that it'll be an email because we're not Luddites, but we'll get hold of BMW and say to them, you know, why have you done this? Because in our experience, we're finding that this is really quite a safety issue. See how we get on. It might mean that we can get them changed for no money.
There you go.
Which I think should be an option, or that they should at least explain to you.
Acknowledge it.
Or they should at least explain to you when you're buying the bike what these indicators look like when they're flashing, and do you really want them? No? Recall coming soon. Right?
Right.
I am now. Do you know why, Mark?
Why?
Because
You're wearing, put that down, you're wearing RiderCamTV stuff.
Oh, from our merch shop?
Yeah, and you've got a mug down there behind you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've just drunk out of that.
There you go, show their mug.
It was the most pleasurable coffee that I've had today. Anyway, today we're talking about these things, these indicators.
Ooh.
Now,
instruments of evil.
Well,
some would say BMWs don't have them.
Yeah. Now, there are other things in the box here because I had to do something with the wiring loom, but basically,
I'm going back to you now.
My indicators on the back of the bike were these, and whilst they look really, really good, don't they? You got to admit they do look good. This bit on the outer ring is the brake light.
On the outside of the red.
On the outside, this outside bit. Now that's your position light on the back of the bike and your brake light, both sides. And this tiny bit inside the triangle, that's the indicator. Now, as you would have seen, I'll put it up again now, when you're braking and indicating, you can hardly see that indicator. It's so small, and you also get it on a lot of cars, don't you? But specifically on
red
these
cars
bikes,
are really bad for that.
They are. I've got a white bike. Not that you can see any white from the back, but...
That's because it's not your bike.
Well, this isn't, no. But the indicators were really bad, and I think they're really, really dangerous. I really do, because you can't see them. I've had loads of people stop me and say, why didn't you indicate when you were turning left? And I'm like, well, I did.
Let's just think about why they're dangerous. They're dangerous not because they don't work, because they do clearly work. The indicator works fine.
Yeah.
As soon as you touch the brake light, the red light comes on, it blinds out the indicator. And what's dangerous is the Muppets in the car behind, or the bike behind, following you too close, aren't even looking. That's when it becomes dangerous.
Yeah, and you can't see it. And I know that you say Muppets in cars and bikes and stuff behind, but you can be someone that's really intently concentrating, but you just can't see it because it's blinded by that red light.
You need to mitigate it, don't you? They could travel further behind you.
They could do.
But that doesn't happen.
No. So, I did a bit of research.
No way.
I did. I looked on forum upon forum, upon forum, upon forum, and there's loads...
On your way to the forum.
On my way to the forum. There are loads and loads of people that experience the same issue as me, really, and loads of people that just want to change them and get the old ones back. So have a look at these ones here. Can I turn your bike on, Mark?
You can do, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Right.
Look at that.
See how bright they are. Now that is the brightness. So these indicators I had were on the back. You obviously know that. But this light here wasn't a position light when you've got these.
That's probably flickering really badly on this film.
Probably. This one was not lit at all because these were the position lights on these indicators. So you would think it's just a case of, I don't know, I'll get my screwdriver, unscrew this, unclip it, clip that one back in.
No.
Now, BMW do things much the same as many manufacturers these days. when you buy a bike or when the order for the bike is placed for it to be built at the factory, they say, this is the option you want, these indicators here. So they program it into all the software. That's the first issue. The second issue is there's 4 pins on that clip, and on these ones there are only 2.
That'll be progress.
So, well, it is, because they are moving forward. It's just that I think they've taken a backward step in where they've put the indicator, because it's just not safe, I don't think. So what I had to do was get hold of Ocean BMW, and Ocean BMW down at Falmouth. Oh, your indicators are still on, Mark. That's better.
Do you know how to ride a bike?
Nope. Ocean BMW down at Falmouth are really, really good, I've got to say. Lots of people would have had many different experiences, but in my experience, they've been nothing but really, really good for anything that I want. So Mark and I were up at the NEC in November, and BMW had a stand, didn't they, Mark?
They did.
So I went over and I said, why have they put these indicators on the back? Who on earth designed them? And more importantly, who on earth QA'd the fact that they were safe?
Yep.
Somebody obviously has. Anyway, I said, I want the old indicators put on. They said, no problem. This is the man you need to speak to, Steve Bellars he's called, really lovely guy, but he's the guy that can reprogram the order of the bike.
Wow.
So, I come along as a new punter. Hello.
Hello, new punter.
I'd like to buy a brand new BMW, please. Okay, says the salesman, what would you like on it? Oh, I love those indicators, let's have them. Excellent, it's all an option, isn't it? That then gets sent away to the factory. They build the bike to the spec that I've bought. Those indicators, so these indicators here. Now I get the bike like I had. Didn't have a choice, by the way, they came with it. I don't want these indicators. So what you have to do, if you've got the same problem like I've done, is go to your local BMW dealer, in this case Ocean down at Falmouth, and apparently I'm the first person in the UK to go back to the old indicators.
Is that RiderCamTV trailblazing?
Yes, we
There'll be
are
a massive
trailblazing.
queue now, you watch.
So what needs to happen is you can't take the indicators off and put the old ones back on, or the older version, because the bike won't accept it. So what you need to do is get hold of your local BMW dealer. They will get hold of Steve Bellars. I'm sure there's other people in BMW that can do it. He then creates a job card that says, this is what the customer wants me to do, to change the order that the bike came in. So he then gets on his computer, does all his wizardry, and programs out these indicators.
Woohoo.
And programs in these indicators.
Marvellous
But while you're down
indicator.
there, Mark, he also needs to program this position light to then be a position light all the time. And then when you brake, that needs to be programmed in, that when you brake, that comes on. So that these just remain indicators. Once they've done that, it takes overnight for it to be injected, this whole new program. And the reason that they have to do that is because if they just program the lights with a code, next time you have an update to your bike, it rewrites the code and overwrites that code for your indicators to be back to the old ones. So they have to basically say to the brain of the bike, when Toby bought his bike, this was the setup he had. Not with these, with those indicators. Really, really complicated, really easy to do. But now that there is a system in place, you can get it done really easily.
That's
and I feel
fantastic
so much
news.
safer. And I tell you what, I'm riding around and I put the indicator on and I had this little buzz in my stomach and a smile going, people can see me indicating now.
Just as another point, on your front indicators,
They still say,
they still are on. They're running lights, aren't they? Orange running
yeah,
lights.
so let's have a look.
Well, this is my bike.
Yeah. So this, oh yeah, this is your bike, yeah.
My bike hasn't
Yeah.
got them, look. There you go, they're off.
So on my bike, I had 4 of these, 2 on the back, 2 on the front. The 2 on the front are just orange all the time in the angle, and then when you indicate, they flash on and off. So they remain because they can just program just the back indicators rather than having to do all 4. Now there is a bit of a downside.
Oh, oh.
Right, so two little downsides really. You can choose to buy from BMW those older style indicators, probably about £100 each, a lot of money. I found some brand new ones on eBay that had come off a brand new BMW for £58 for the pair. So I lucked out there.
Or was that just a private guy?
I think it was a private guy. Lucked out there, but they have to do some wizardry. Now I'm not sure exactly what they've done, but they have had to change some of the wiring loom. So this is the wiring loom from the original, hence the fact that I've got it all back, because I might want to sell it, or when I get rid of the bike they might have to do this all over again with my new bike. But essentially the 4 pins need to come down to 2 pins, because these are the older style are just indicators. They're not performing any other functions, so they only need 2 wires. So they've had to do a little bit of jiggery pokery on the wiring loom, but because it's BMW, they've done the programming, they've done the jiggery pokery, it's all under warranty. Doesn't affect any warranty under the bike, but from my point of view, I think it's a lot safer.
Excellent.
And they only charged me for the time it took for them to program it, not overnight. So it wasn't very much money at all. Obviously, your experience may differ depending on which branch of BMW dealerships you go to, but they were really, really good. And because it's something that they haven't probably done so far, because I'm the only one, did I say that? Only one in the UK
You
so
are
far.
numero uno.
Another dance.
Grand wizard.
It's something that they will be able to get hold of Ocean down at Falmouth, find out exactly what the process is if they're still confused, and they will walk them through it. But it's something to add to their bow, isn't it? When somebody says, these indicators are awful, I nearly crashed, several people nearly hit me, I want to change them back. It's not just a blanket, no, we can't do it because we don't know.
Just suddenly had a thought. I wonder if you had somebody rear-ended you. I mean, obviously if somebody rear-ends you, 99% of the time it is their fault. But if they were to say, well, I didn't see the indicators, or I didn't see, you know, I didn't know they were turning, whatever.
Yeah. It's a difficult one. I mean, we've got in-of cameras, haven't we? And they're mounted just above the indicators, only on one side. It's not going to prove that you're indicating because it might not see it. I don't know. It's a sticky one, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, we're done.
Yeah.
Sorted.
So I love it. So for all of those people out there with these, and everybody that I know that's got a GSA in particular with these, they don't like these. There is an option for changing them to make them feel a little bit safer and to be a bit safer on the road.
Wonderful.
What an amazing end to a tragic start. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Have a look at the beginning of the video so that you know what it's all about.
Don't people do that normally?
I don't know. Change yours if you want to change yours. It's not difficult. Yes, you're going to spend a little bit more money. That is the downside, but I'd rather spend, what did I spend? Probably about £100 altogether. Gives you an idea of how much I spent. But now I feel really confident I'm a little bit safer that people can see. Brilliant. So subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video with another healthy safety tip. Yeah!